Inflation, war, food shortages, and of course, stock market volatility. Can 2022 get any wilder? Well, it seems that it can. I'm going to show you some information today that really reveals what we are about to experience. It's going to be split up in about two parts, and I want to show you this first. Corporations on the front lines of the economy say that cracks are forming. Essentially, prices are getting too high. Consumers, while they are still spending, are not spending as much as before. They talk about Walmart, they talk about Target, they talk about e-commerce as well. Big tech, retail companies, and consumer giants painted a mixed picture of the consumer economy where spending is still strong but beginning to wane. And from my experience personally, when you sell on Amazon, when you sell in e-commerce, you start to see these things at the forefront. Now, if you're selling products like myself that are I will call them recession proof, well, then you're not going to see it as much as somebody who's selling, t-shirts for their cat. And this is important because you need to look at not just the whole market, but really where people are spending. Yeah, they're spending, but they're buying more gasoline or spending more on their gasoline. They're spending more money on food. So technically, they're spending more money, but it's on the necessities or the products and services which they really need versus those nice to haves. So I think that's important to see when you look at that. And by the way, people are still going out to the restaurants. They're still doing all these things. So we're not anywhere near a full, deep, deflationary environment. But there's just one issue. Let's get into that right now. Retail's dark side. As inventory piles up, liquidation warehouses are busy. Consumers are buying fewer discretionary goods and returning more. To clear their shelves, retailers are selling to liquidators at steep discounts. So I think that's important because you will see that in Walmart. Walmart is now offering used goods. So they have a Walmart, I forget the term, Walmart Restored, like a refurbished program, and they offer that to you. Now in Amazon, when you go to the side and you're about to pay, there are options, different options. One of those options is, would you like to pay in, 4 easy installments? Another option below that is, this product is also available used. Are you interested? And just for those who want to know about this, Amazon does all that work. So they will actually, if you're a seller on Amazon, they will take your products as they are returned, they'll bring them back in and they do an analysis on them. And they inspect it. And then based on the current condition of that product, it was shipped here and there and so on. And they will say, is this very good, good, and so on. And you, as the individual seller, you set a price associated with that. So somebody might be able to get a 50% discount on the product. Maybe the packaging is destroyed, or maybe it's missing something that is not necessary, the instructions or what have you. And so they can get a discount on that product. But that's not just something that's available to people. That's coming up right when you're about to purchase. So this is what's happening. Yeah, the consumer is still buying, but they are choosing alternates. Okay, I think that's really key. So, they get into that here and what's been happening. I think it's important to note that you've got a company like Amazon, massive company. They halted all of their new fulfillment centers and saying, we're not going to build right there. And I think that's important because you look at what they were doing in 2020, they were expanding the fulfillment centers like never before. And then just get into the different examples of this. You've got all these liquidation services that have appeared or expanded throughout this period. And that's really key. It's really key intel. Now, when we look at the extreme example, in this case here, Argentina. Argentina's government is collapsing. People refuse to work amid major subsidy cuts. Only 43% of adults have a job as inflation soars above 60%. So you've got a problem that has been going on for a while, but is getting worse. And we're feeling it hard and heavy in Argentina. I know I have different reports of people in Argentina saying one thing or another, but there are some things that are evident and that are really, really at the forefront as you see it. Yes, it's an extreme example. We are not seeing the exact same thing happening in the US or different countries in Europe, Australia, Canada, and so on. But, it seems like it's heading in that direction. That's all. Whether it will get this bad or not remains to be seen. But I think it's important to just address all this and understand that if people had that foresight beforehand to say, I think things could get really bad. Maybe now's the time to cut back on the things I don't need, and maybe now's the time to hold real assets and so on, 5 years, 10 years before it happened. Hard to do that when you're just, trying to keep up. So I think it's just something that, we should learn the lesson. That's all I'm trying to say, okay? Because even if the biggest part of this crisis doesn't happen for another 10 years, you don't want to be the one to say, I really wish I would have done this or that. So that's my message to you. So if you appreciate it, of course, hit that thumbs up. And also, I wanted to mention, if you're not subscribed already, at the Money GPS, I bring a video every single day. I bring you the latest and greatest. I search 4 hours a day sometimes, looking into all the data to bring only the best stuff. Okay? Look at this. My family of 6 lives in a tool shed, use a bucket as a toilet, and love it. So this article talks about different people that are living the hashtag shed life. Tiny home living, all these different things. It could be a good thing. And I know that some people like it for a little while, then they say, hey, it's too much, just like the hashtag van life. And I think it's up to people to decide what they do with their life. What I don't like is to see people who cannot afford a home and they go to live in a tool shed, they go to live in a van simply because it's all they can afford. And that shows you that the prices have escalated beyond reason. It shouldn't cost this much just to live a basic life. Right? People will say, well, people need to get paid more. That's not the solution. The solution is to figure out why the prices are rising in the first place. Local food pantries facing supply shortages amidst high demand. This is in New York, and this one is in Las Vegas, or there's another one actually that I had here. There it is. Inflation brings California food banks a surge in first-time users on razor's edge. So it just shows us the demand that's going on all over the place. Governor declares state of emergency for Las Vegas. You have seen the flooding that's been taking place. This is not the only place. I mean, you'll get these extreme weather events, super drought in one area. Another place has, whether it's food problems, you got water problems, you got anything, heat, and that's bringing up energy usage. And as energy usage goes up, demand is going up, the prices are going up, and it's creating this infinite cycle. And that brings me to this part of the video. It's going to be important to watch what happens with the prices that people pay and see how that affects the economy. So I'm not just mentioning this just because it's in the news. This is the economic cycle, and the central banks respond to that cycle. Right now in Europe, we are seeing the highest inflation we have seen. Looking at this, even see what the central bank in the US, the Federal Reserve, the way that they measure inflation, it's at the highest we've seen in a very, very long time. Austrian Chancellor said on Thursday that an embargo on Russian gas in the EU is, quote, impossible due to EU countries' heavy dependence on Russian energy, and stressed that a common energy platform is needed to avoid competition with other member states. You can't just cut yourself off without going into a deep, dark recession. You should have thought of that a long time ago before relying on one country. Germany is set to impose a levy on all gas consumers from October 1st, aimed at helping suppliers struggling with soaring gas import prices. So you got a problem with supply. What do? Increase the price, and therefore people will use less of it? Is that the game? How does that sound? My friends in Europe, my friends in Germany, you tell me what you think about this. And just like putting a tax on top of it doesn't resolve anything. My goodness. And then we look at China, Taiwan, US. People were saying, this is not happening. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a fraud. This is a lie. Look, warplanes of the US Navy are flying near Taiwan. Very harsh statements from China continued to come before the Pelosi visit to Taiwan. Tensions in the region have risen to the highest level. That's what I said. And now I'm seeing many reports of that. And you could see the warplanes overhead. Okay, there we go. Both sides are doing it. It's not just one side. And then this is a China government official. So this isn't just some random reports. I don't do that stuff on this channel. I give you official sources as best I can. Latest China remarks on countering Pelosi's possible visit to Taiwan shows highest levels of warning. All options, including military ones, are already on the table. It's crucial to accurately understand China's remarks and avoid misunderstanding. We'll see, right? China is issuing the same red line warnings about Taiwan that Russia issued about Ukraine. I talked about the parallels between this. Just wanted to show you this. Just wanted to confirm from multiple sources that it's not just me saying this. And then we have this confirmed. Pelosi is on the way to Asia. So the trip for Asia was planned. It's a Taiwan that's tentative. So we'll see what happens. But what I don't like to see is the fact that, you know, the US doesn't want to look weak, so they might want to go to Taiwan to simply say, hey, we don't want to be pushed around either. And that's not a good thing. Okay, both sides aren't going to win in this case here. You can see the war drills that are taking place as well. And Chinese Navy warships are chasing the USS Ronald Reagan into the South China Sea. So this is going back and forth, this is being pushed around, and I think that this could certainly escalate. What this could do, and the reason I mention it here, obviously, war. Nobody wins in it except the military-industrial complex. But overall, I just think that we can have more tensions, we could have more sanctions, we could have more tariffs, we could have more economic weakness for many different aspects out there, and it could come from one reason or another. So all of this leads to, what we see with deflation, as I showed you in the beginning of the video, could certainly bring things like oil just simply off the charts because we have reverberations from the 1970s. It could be a deflationary event where people aren't spending the money because they're thinking, you know what, stuff's going to be cheaper tomorrow. I'll just wait. I'll wait 6 months. I'm not going to buy that new Rolex watch because I can get it cheaper 6 months from now. I can get it cheaper 3 months from now. The same with real estate. If inventories are piling up, I'll just wait around. So that's the thing that I wanted to bring to you. I hope you appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Of course, join the rest of the 282 or maybe 283,000 people all over the world. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.